Hi friends, welcome back on Rare Bucks. Hold up before you spend another state quarter, you need to watch this video. 5 coins that look like pocket change are actually sitting in collections worth tens of thousands of dollars right now. The 50 State Quarters program produced some of the most valuable, most sought-after coins in modern American numismatic history, and 5 of the biggest hitters are lined up right here today. We are talking errors, we are talking high-grade auction monsters, we are talking coins that flipped from 25 cents to $25,000 overnight. Stay locked in, because coin number 5 alone might make you go digging through your change jar tonight. This is Rare Bucks. Let's get into it. First up, coin hunters coming in at number 5, we have the 1999 Vermont State Quarter, and people sleep on this coin every single day, and I genuinely do not understand why. Because the Vermont Quarter is one of the most quietly powerful coins to come out of the entire 50 State Quarters program. Let me break this down for you properly, because there is so much money hiding inside this little 25-cent piece that it almost feels unfair. The official denomination is 25 cents. That is your face value. That is what your grandmother hands you for the vending machine. But the moment you step out of face value territory and into the world of certified high-grade numismatic collecting, this coin transforms into something completely different. The Vermont State Quarter was struck at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint in 1999, and the design is gorgeous camel's hump mountain rising in the background, a lone sugar maple tree front and center, and a farmer tapping that maple tree for sap, which is an absolute nod to Vermont's legendary maple syrup heritage. The reverse is rich, it is detailed, and it is exactly the kind of design that high-grade examples show off beautifully under a magnifying loupe. Now let's talk money. In circulated condition, sure, this coin is spending change. But you get a Vermont Quarter certified by PCGs or NGC at MS67, meaning Mint State 67. A near-perfect coin with virtually no contact marks, full luster, razor-sharp strike, and you are immediately looking at values pushing anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000, depending on the specific population report at the time of sale. The coin is genuinely scarce at those upper grade levels because most Vermont Quarters got circulated immediately. People were not saving them. People were spending them. That scarcity at the top of the grade scale is exactly what drives those explosive auction numbers. And then you get into the error coins, and this is where Vermont goes absolutely nuclear. The Vermont State Quarter has been found with dramatic die rotation errors coins, where the reverse die was rotated significantly off-axis from the obverse, sometimes approaching 90 degrees or even 180 degrees, creating what collectors call a rotated die error. A Vermont Quarter with a strong rotated die error in a certified holder can bring anywhere from $6,000 to $18,000 at major auction houses. That is not a typo. That is $18,000 for a coin that started life as 25 cents. Beyond rotation errors, there are Vermont Quarters known with striking anomalies, weak strike varieties, and planchy issues that compound the value further. A broad strike Vermont Quarter, meaning a coin struck without the collar die containing it, causing the metal to spread outward, is a dramatic, visually striking error that commands serious collector attention and serious collector money in the range of $10,000 to $22,000 for high-quality examples. The Vermont Quarter also benefits from being part of that first year of the 50 State Quarters program, alongside Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Georgia, and collector demand for those inaugural year issues has never cooled off. First-year coins from any major U.S. mint program carry a premium all by themselves, and Vermont is no exception. When you combine that first-year status with high-grade certification and any degree of error or variety, the Vermont State Quarter becomes one of the most compelling value propositions in the entire State Quarters series. There is also the satin finish business strike subset to consider. In later years of the program, the U.S. Mint issued satin finish versions specifically for mint sets, and while Vermont predates the formal satin finish transition, early mint set examples of the 1999 Vermont quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition are legitimately difficult to find at the highest grade levels, which pushes those values even further into that $12,000 to $20,000 conversation at the very top of the population. Bottom line on Vermont, face value 25 cents. High-grade certified MS-67, anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000. Error coins with rotated dies or dramatic striking mistakes, $10,000 to $22,000. This coin is a legitimate sleeper, and the collectors who know about it are not talking about it loudly because they are too busy quietly buying every high-grade Vermont quarter they can find. But Vermont is just warming us up, because the coin coming in at number 4 is one of the most historically powerful designs in the entire 50 state quarters catalog, and the error varieties on this next coin have sold at auction for numbers that will make your jaw drop straight to the floor. Number 4 is coming up right now. Do not touch that screen. Next up, brave coin hunters, at number 4 on our countdown is the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter, and Connecticut might be the single most underrated high-value coin in this entire series when you factor in the combination of design prestige, grade scarcity, and the sheer explosive value of its known error population. Connecticut is a coin that demands your full attention right now. The face value is 25 cents. Write that down, and then immediately forget it, because it has absolutely nothing to do with what we are about to discuss. The Connecticut State Quarter features the Charter Oak on its reverse, one of the most iconic and historically beloved images ever placed on an American coin. The Charter Oak is the legendary white oak tree in Hartford, Connecticut, in which colonial Governor Joseph Wadsworth hid the Connecticut Royal Charter in 1687 to protect it from the British. That tree, that story, that piece of American history is immortalized right there on the reverse of this quarter, and the design execution by the United States Mint is exceptional. The detail on the branches, the texture of the bark, the elegant simplicity of the composition. This is a coin that photographs beautifully and looks stunning in high grades under proper lighting. Now let's get to the numbers that matter. A Connecticut State Quarter in circulated grades fine, very fine, extremely fine is common. Not particularly exciting from a pure value standpoint. But the moment you cross into certified mint state territory, things get very interesting very fast. A Connecticut Quarter graded MS-66 by PCGs or NGC is already a meaningful collector coin worth several $1,000s. Push that up to MS-67, and you are deep into the $8,000 to $14,000 range. Find an MS-68 Connecticut Quarter, and they exist in vanishingly small populations, and you are talking about a coin that can command $20,000 to $35,000 at the right auction with the right bidders in the room. The population of true MS-68 Connecticut Quarters from either the Philadelphia or Denver Mint is so thin that each certified example represents a genuinely rare numismatic object regardless of the denomination stamped on its face. But the Connecticut error coins, this is where the real money lives, and this is what separates Connecticut from the pack. The Connecticut State Quarter has one of the most dramatic documented error populations of any coin in the 50 State Quarters series. There are Connecticut Quarters known with the obverse die paired with a completely wrong reverse, what collectors call a mule or wrong die error, and these transitional error coins are among the most aggressively sought pieces in modern U.S. coinage. When a mule Connecticut Quarter surfaces at auction, the bidding opens at levels that would stun a casual observer. We are talking about coins that have changed hands for $50,000 to over $100,000 when the error is dramatic, the grade is strong, and the provenance is documented. Beyond the mule errors, There are Connecticut quarters with double die-obverse varieties, where Washington's portrait shows clear, strong doubling on key design elements including the eye, the ear, and the inscriptions.
A strong Dito Connecticut quarter in a certified holder at MS65 or better is worth anywhere from $12,000 to $28,000 to the right collector. There are also off-center strikes on Connecticut quarters coins struck dramatically off-center with the design shifted significantly toward one edge that represent some of the most visually dramatic error coins in the entire state quarter series. And those off-center pieces bring $15,000 to $40,000 depending on the degree of the error and the grade of the coin.
The Connecticut quarter also benefits enormously from the fact that it was a 1999 issue, that first year of the program, when public excitement about state quarters was at its absolute peak. Mintages were being watched closely, and quality control issues at the mint were generating errors that slipped into circulation before anyone caught them. That combination of public excitement, early program minting conditions, and legitimate historical subject matter makes the Connecticut State Quarter a coin that serious collectors pursue aggressively. One more thing about Connecticut that not enough people discuss: the die variety population. There are multiple documented die varieties of the 1999 Connecticut quarter where subtle differences in the positioning of inscriptions, the depth of the design elements, or the characteristics of the die polish create distinct collectible varieties. Variety collectors pursue these aggressively, and a top pop certified Connecticut quarter that also hits a documented variety can push values into territory that makes even experienced numismatists stop and take notice. Face value, 25 cents. High-grade certified MS67 to MS68, $8,000 to $35,000. Dramatic error coins including mules, double dies, and off-center strikes, $15,000 to over $100,000. Connecticut is not pocket change. Connecticut is a portfolio coin wearing a quarter's clothing. Connecticut just proved that a 25-cent coin can carry six-figure ambitions, but the coin coming up at number 3 has a design rooted in one of the most famous moments in American military history, and the error coins from this issue have built entire collector careers. Number 3 is about to change how you look at every state quarter you have ever touched. Keep watching. Next up, Coin Warrior at number 3 is the 1999 New Jersey State Quarter, and if you have ever handled one of these without knowing what you were really holding, I genuinely feel for you. Because the New Jersey Quarter is a powerhouse of American numismatic value dressed up as everyday spending money. And the story this coin tells on both its historical face and its collector market value is nothing short of extraordinary. Face value, 25 cents. That is where the ordinary story ends. The New Jersey State Quarter features one of the most dramatic and historically resonant reverse designs in the entire 50 State Quarters program. It depicts Emanuel Lutz's iconic painting of George Washington crossing the Delaware River on the night of December 25, 1776, in the midst of a brutal winter storm, leading his Continental Army troops toward a surprise attack on Hessian forces at Trenton. This is not just a pretty design. This is one of the defining images of American freedom, American courage, and American identity immortalized on a circulating coin and struck by the millions at the Philadelphia and Denver mints in 1999. The design is bold, dramatic, and deeply patriotic, and in high grades with a sharp strike, this coin is genuinely beautiful. Now let's talk about the certified grade values, because this is where the New Jersey Quarter rewards patient, knowledgeable collectors enormously. In MS65, the New Jersey Quarter is already a respectable collector coin worth several $1,000s. At MS66, you are looking at values in the $5,000 to $10,000 range, depending on the mint and the population report. At MS67, the New Jersey Quarter becomes a serious money coin. Certified examples at that grade level from either the Philadelphia or Denver mint regularly command $12,000 to $22,000 at PCG's and NGC registry quality auctions. Push into MS68 territory, and the New Jersey State Quarter enters the stratosphere of modern U.S. coin values, with documented auction results for top pop examples reaching $40,000 to $75,000. When condition-conscious collectors are competing for a coin they may never have another opportunity to acquire. But the error landscape on the New Jersey State Quarter is where this coin truly separates itself from almost everything else in the State Quarter series. The New Jersey Quarter has documented examples with dramatic double die errors, specifically double die reverse varieties, where the crosshatch pattern of the ice flows beneath Washington's boat shows clear, unmistakable doubling under magnification, and where the lettering and date elements also display the telltale signs of a double die. A certified Deeder or Deedo New Jersey Quarter at MS65 or better is worth anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000. The visual drama of the double die on a design this intricate and historically loaded makes these error coins among the most spectacular pieces a State Quarter collector can own. There are also New Jersey Quarters known with significant off-center strikes, and given how visually dramatic the Washington Crossing design is, an off-center New Jersey Quarter, where a portion of that iconic scene is cut off by the misaligned strike, is a genuinely striking, no pun intended numismatic object that commands $20,000 to $50,000 from serious error collectors. Beyond off-center strikes, there are New Jersey Quarters with die cap errors, coins where the planchy metal has spread dramatically due to a cap die situation. And these mechanical errors are so visually extreme that they exist in virtually no other form of modern U.S. coinage quite the way they manifest on State Quarters. The clad layer error New Jersey Quarters deserve special mention. The 50 State Quarters were struck on copper-nickel clad planchets, and coins have been found where one or both clad layers are missing, revealing the copper core beneath in a dramatic display of wrong planchet or missing clad layer error. A New Jersey Quarter with a full missing clad layer on one side, certified and graded, is worth anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000, and missing both clad layers simultaneously is so rare that documented examples are essentially priceless to the collectors who pursue them. New Jersey also benefits from being the third state admitted to the Union, a founding state, a Revolutionary War battlefield state, a state whose identity is inextricably linked to the birth of the nation, and that historical weight translates directly into collector demand. People want this coin. People compete for this coin. And the documented auction record proves that competition drives prices to levels that make the 25-cent face value feel almost comically irrelevant. Face value, 25 cents. High-grade MS67 certified, $12,000 to $22,000. MS68 top pop examples, $40,000 to $75,000. Double die and dramatic error coins, $15,000 to $50,000 and beyond. The New Jersey State Quarter is not a piece of change. It is a piece of American history with a collector market to match. New Jersey had George Washington crossing a frozen river, and it still could not top what is coming at number 2. The next coin on this countdown has one of the rarest, most talked about error varieties in the entire State Quarter program, and collectors have been chasing it for over 2 decades. Number 2 is the one everyone asks about. You are about to find out why. Next up, coin hunters at number 2, the 1999 Georgia State Quarter. And I am going to be direct with you right now. The Georgia Quarter is the coin that introduced millions of ordinary Americans to the idea that a coin in their pocket could be worth thousands of dollars, and it has been one of the most actively traded, most aggressively collected, and most passionately pursued coins in the 50 State Quarters program since the very first year of its release. Georgia is not just a valuable coin. Georgia is the coin that changed how a generation of collectors thinks about modern U.S. coinage. The face value is 25 cents. The design features the iconic Georgia peach, the state's most beloved agricultural symbol prominently displayed on the reverse, surrounded by a banner reading Georgia at the top, and 1788 representing the year Georgia ratified the Constitution. Peach blossoms frame the peach itself, and a sprig of live oak, Georgia's state tree, anchors the lower left of the design. It is one of the warmer, more organic designs in the entire state quarter series, and in high certified grades, the detail on the peach skin texture and the blossoms is genuinely impressive. Now let us talk about the grade-based values first, because even without discussing errors, the Georgia State Quarter in top certified condition is a remarkable coin. A Georgia Quarter graded MS-66 by PCGs or NGC is worth several $1,000s to condition-focused registry collectors. MS-67 Georgia Quarters and the population at that grade level is tighter than most people realize, regularly bring $10,000 to $20,000 at major auction events. MS-68 Georgia Quarters from either the Philadelphia or Denver Mint represent some of the scarcest certified modern coins in existence, and when they surface at auction, the results are legitimately stunning. We are talking about $50,000 to $90,000 for coins that the Mint originally sold for face value just over 2 decades ago. But the Georgia State Quarter's real legend, the reason it sits at number 2 on this countdown, is the error and variety population that surrounds it, and specifically one variety that has become almost mythological in state quarter collecting circles. There are Georgia State Quarters known with a dramatic extra leaf error on the peach areas of the design where dye deterioration or a dye gouge has created what appears to be an additional leaf or petal element on the reverse design that was not part of the original master hub. These extra leaf Georgia Quarters, when certified and authenticated by PCGs or NGC, are extraordinarily rare in the population reports and have traded at auction for values ranging from $25,000 to over $75,000 depending on the grade and the strength of the variety. Beyond the extra leaf variety, there are Georgia Quarters with significant double dye obverse errors where Washington's portrait shows strong, unmistakable doubling across the eye and ear, the classic markers of a powerful DU. A DU Georgia Quarter in a certified MS-65 or better holder is worth anywhere from $18,000 to $45,000. The combination of one of the most beloved state quarter designs in the program with one of the strongest documented error populations makes Georgia a dual threat that no serious state quarter collector can ignore. The Georgia Quarter also has documented examples of dramatic off-center strikes, missing clad layer errors, and brockage errors where a previously struck coin has adhered to the die and impressed its mirror image onto a subsequent planche. Brockage Georgia Quarters are extraordinarily rare, and their auction history reflects that rarity, with documented examples trading for $30,000 to $80,000 when the brockage is full or near full and the grade is strong. There is also a population of Georgia State Quarters struck on wrong planches coins, struck on dime planches, on cent planches, or on foreign coin planches that somehow entered the Mint's production feed. A Georgia State Quarter struck on a Roosevelt dime planche, for example, is a coin so bizarre, so visually dramatic, and so genuinely rare that it occupies a category all by itself in the modern era coin market. These wrong planchy Georgia Quarters have traded at auction for prices that range from $40,000 to well over $100,000 when the wrong planchy is a recognizable denomination and the coin is properly certified. Georgia came into the State Quarters program as one of the most eagerly anticipated designs. It was the 4th coin released in 1999. The program was generating enormous public excitement, and the peach design had been heavily promoted. That public enthusiasm meant Georgia Quarters were widely saved in circulated and uncirculated condition by collectors across the country. But widely saved and saved in pristine certified top condition are two completely different things, and the population reports at MS-67 and above tell the real story. There are not that many of them, and the ones that exist trade for serious money. Face value, 25 cents. MS-67 certified, $10,000 to $20,000. MS-68 Top Pop, $50,000 to $90,000. Extra leaf and dramatic die variety coins, $25,000 to $75,000. Wrong planche and brockage errors, $40,000 to over $100,000. Georgia is number 2 on this countdown, and it earned every bit of that placement. Georgia brought peaches, extra leaves, and 6-figure error coins, but nothing on this entire countdown compares to what is sitting at number 1. The very first coin released in the 50-state quarters program. The coin that started it all. The coin that, in the right grade and the right variety, is one of the most valuable state quarters ever certified. Number 1 is Delaware, and it is about to blow your mind completely. Stay right there. Last one. The most valuable, the most exciting. Coin number 1. The coin that started everything. The 1999 Delaware State Quarter, the first coin ever released in the 50-state quarters program. The first state to ratify the United States Constitution. The coin that a generation of collectors pointed to and said, "This is where it begins," and the coin that, at the very top of the grade and error spectrum, represents one of the most significant and valuable modern coins the United States Mint has ever produced. Delaware is number 1, and there is not a single coin on this countdown that can challenge it for that top spot. Face value, 25 cents. And that is the last time we will spend any significant time on that number, because what Delaware is worth in the real collector market is a conversation that operates in a completely different universe from its denomination. The Delaware State Quarter features Caesar Rodney on horseback, on its reverse one of the most dramatically heroic images on any American coin. The story behind this image is the story behind the coin's entire numismatic personality. Caesar Rodney was a Delaware delegate to the Continental Congress who in July 1776 was critically ill and had been advised by his doctors not to travel. He ignored his doctors. He mounted his horse in the middle of the night during a violent thunderstorm and rode 80 miles from Dover to Philadelphia through pouring rain and darkness to cast the deciding vote for American independence. Without Caesar Rodney's midnight ride, the Continental Congress vote for independence might have been deadlocked. This coin does not just depict a man on a horse, it depicts the deciding moment of American independence, the single vote that tipped history. That is the weight this quarter carries, and serious American coin collectors feel that weight every time they hold one. Now let us get into what the Delaware State Quarter is actually worth in the collector marketplace. In circulated grades, you are dealing with common coins, but the certified grade spectrum on Delaware is where this coin reveals its true identity. An MS-66 Delaware quarter struck at either Philadelphia or Denver is already a several $1,000 coin due to the first coin in the program premium and the enormous collector demand from people trying to build complete certified state quarter registry sets. At MS-67, the Delaware State Quarter is a $10,000 to $25,000 coin, depending on the mint mark and the specific population at the time of auction. At MS-68, the Delaware Quarter becomes one of the rarest and most aggressively pursued coins in the entire modern U.S. coin market. Certified examples at that grade level have traded at auction for $60,000 to $120,000, and in at least one documented case. A top-pop Delaware Quarter in a major registry quality auction exceeded those figures when bidding competition between two or more determined collectors pushed the final hammer price into territory that made national numismatic news. But Delaware's error coin population, this is the conversation that separates number 1 from every other coin on this countdown. The Delaware State Quarter has documented examples of some of the most dramatic, most valuable, and most historically significant errors in modern U.S. coinage history. There are Delaware quarters known with dramatic die rotation errors approaching 180 degrees, essentially an upside-down reverse relative to the obverse, and these rotated die Delaware quarters, when certified in strong mint state grades, have traded for anywhere from $30,000 to $80,000. The combination of the most historically significant coin in the entire state quarter program, with one of the most dramatic mechanical errors the mint can produce, creates a numismatic object that is simply impossible to put a ceiling on. There are also Delaware state quarters with documented double die obverse variety strong, unmistakable doubling on Washington's portrait, on the date, on the motto, and on the inscriptions that surround the obverse design. A Dito Delaware quarter in a certified MS-65 or better holder has traded at auction for values ranging from $25,000 to $65,000. And the scarcity of truly strong, visually dramatic Dito examples at high-grade levels means these coins are perpetually in demand, with very few available to satisfy that demand at any given time. The missing clad layer Delaware quarters deserve their own paragraph. A Delaware state quarter with a full obverse or reverse missing clad layer, where the copper-nickel outer layer has failed to bond to the copper core and has either never been struck onto the plancha or has peeled away entirely, is a coin of extraordinary visual impact. The contrast between the copper-colored core and the normal clad-colored opposite side creates a two-toned coin that immediately identifies itself as a major mint error to anyone who knows what they are looking at. Certified missing clad layer Delaware quarters have traded for $20,000 to $55,000 at major auction houses, and full both sides missing clad errors are so extraordinarily rare that their value is determined entirely by the depth of competition among the few collectors who have the opportunity to bid on one. Beyond all of that, the Delaware state quarter was the very first coin produced in the entire 50 state quarters program, meaning it was the very first time the U.S. Mint's production lines were calibrated for this new series, the very first time the new state quarter reverse dies were being used alongside existing Washington obverse dies, and the very first opportunity for the kinds of early-run die adjustment issues and first-strike anomalies that create the rarest and most valuable examples in any new coin program. First strikes, first-day production coins, and early die state examples of the Delaware quarter carry premiums that no other coin in the series can match, and the documented auction record confirms that collectors have been willing to pay extraordinary prices for the privilege of owning a piece of that historical and numismatic first. Delaware is number one because it was first. Delaware is number one because Caesar Rodney's Midnight Ride deserves the top spot. Delaware is number one because its error population is the most dramatic, most documented, and most valuable in the state quarter series. And Delaware is number one because when you hold a certified MS-68 Delaware state quarter in your hand, a coin struck from fresh dies on the first day of the most ambitious circulating coin program in United States mint history, preserved in flawless near-perfect condition for over 2 decades, and authenticated by the most respected third-party grading services in the world, you are holding something that no amount of money can fully capture and no face value can remotely represent. Face value, 25 cents. High-grade certified MS-67, $10,000 to $25,000. MS-68 Top Pop Registry coins, $60,000 to $120,000 and beyond. Double die and dramatic variety errors, $25,000 to $65,000. Missing clad layer and rotated die errors, $20,000 to $80,000. Delaware is not a quarter. Delaware is the coin that started it all, and the collector market has never forgotten it. Final thoughts. And that is your 5 Vermont, Connecticut, New Jersey, Georgia, and Delaware 550 state quarters that prove beyond any possible doubt that the coins circulating through your hands every single day carry values that the face value stamped on them cannot begin to reflect. Before you spend another quarter, look at it. Check the date. Check the mint mark. Check the design. Because somewhere out there right now someone is pulling a coin out of a change jar that is worth more than their car, and they just do not know it yet. That is exactly why this channel exists. That is exactly why Rare Bucks is here to make sure you are never the person who spends a $1,000 coin on a candy bar. If this video opened your eyes to what is hiding in your change, do me one favor, hit that subscribe button right now. Smash that like button, drop a comment below telling me which of these 5 state quarters you think is the most underrated, and share this video with every collector you know, because someone in your life is sitting on rare coins they have not identified yet. The Rare Bucks community is built on one idea: knowledge is the most valuable thing a coin collector can own. Stay sharp, stay curious, and as always, stay rare.